Hello and welcome to the Digital Divide Explained, the podcast where your host is Stewart. Stewart explores the gap between those who have access to information and communication technologies and those who don't. In each episode, Stewart will discuss the causes, consequences, and solutions of the digital divide, as well as share some stories and insights from people who are affected by it. Whether you are a tech enthusiast, a social activist, or just curious about the world, this podcast is for you. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Welcome to the Digital Divide Explained. I am your host, Stewart Milimu, ilondanga. In this episode, we are diving deeper into a topic that impacts us all, the digital divide. We will explore how it relates to the shortage of training opportunities for drone pilots, as discussed in previous episodes. So, if you've ever wondered about the implications of this technological gap, stick around. Let's start by understanding what the digital divide actually means. At its core, the digital divide refers to the unequal access to information and communication technologies, such as the internet and digital devices. This divide can be caused by various factors, including economic disparities, geographical location, and educational opportunities.
You are tuned into the Digital Divide Explained podcast. Why did the smartphone apply for a job? It wanted to contribute to closing the digital gap.
In previous episodes, we touched on how the newness of the drone industry has contributed to a lack of training opportunities. This directly relates to the digital divide because as newer technologies like drones emerge, the divide can grow wider, leaving some individuals and communities behind. So, how does the digital divide affect drone training? Well, one significant aspect is access to information and resources. In areas where there is limited internet connectivity or digital infrastructure, aspiring drone pilots may struggle to access online training materials or even find nearby training centers.
You are tuned into the Digital Divide Explained podcast. How does a computer stay fit? It does bite-sized exercises.
In previous episodes, we mentioned that cost can be a prohibitive factor in drone training. For those on the wrong side of the digital divide, the financial burden of acquiring the necessary technology and training can be unsurmountable. Governments worldwide have recognized the importance of regulating drone operations to ensure safety. While this is a positive development, it can inadvertently exacerbate the digital divide. How, you ask? Well, regulations often require online certification or licensing processes. This can be a challenge for individuals in underserved areas with limited access to the internet.
You are tuned into the Digital Divide Explained podcast. Why do computers make terrible comedians? They can't handle the bandwidth of humor.
Additionally, as we mentioned earlier, governments are investing in training programs to meet these new requirements. But are these programs reaching everyone equally? The digital divide may lead to unequal access to government-sponsored training opportunities, creating disparities in drone pilot qualifications. Industry associations like AUVSI play a vital role in shaping training standards and best practices for drone operations. While their efforts contribute to the overall quality of training, it's essential to consider how these standards are disseminated. In areas where digital access is limited, disseminating these standards and ensuring that training providers meet them can be challenging. Training providers themselves can help bridge the gap by offering a variety of training options, including in-person classes and printed materials.
You are tuned into the Digital Divide Explained podcast. What did one computer say to another? You're my bite-full friend.
Now, let's talk solutions. How can we bridge the digital divide and ensure that everyone has access to quality drone training? First, governments should consider the digital infrastructure needs of their regions when implementing regulations. Ensuring affordable, widespread internet access is critical for aspiring drone pilots everywhere. Second, industry associations and training providers should prioritize accessibility. Offering both online and offline training options can help reach a more diverse audience.
You are tuned into the Digital Divide Explained podcast. Why was the computer cold? Because it left its windows open.
As we conclude this episode of the Digital Divide Explained, it is clear that the lack of training opportunities for drone pilots is just one facet of a broader issue. The digital divide affects access to technology, training, and opportunities for people around the world. By recognizing this divide and taking steps to address it, we can ensure that the benefits of emerging technologies like drones are accessible to all. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, a more inclusive digital future benefits us all. Until next time, I am Stewart Milimu, ilondanga, signing off.
Ladies and gentlemen, in our pursuit of a more connected and equitable world, let us remember that knowledge is power. By understanding the digital divide and its implications, we can collectively work toward solutions that ensure no one is left behind in the digital age. Stewart was your host and guide on this podcast, Digital Divide Explained. It is not just a matter of providing internet access. It is about empowering individuals, strengthening communities, and fostering equitable development. Stay informed, stay inspired, and remember, a connected world is a better world. Stewart is now signing off from Digital Divide Explained. Until next time, take care.